Hello Northsiders. As we move towards continuous online reporting, one of the key ways we're going to deliver that feedback in secondary is through Schoology, and particularly using Schoology Rubrics. So in this video I'm going to explain how any of us can use Schoology to create a rubric. I'm going to go through some of the technical aspects of that and also some conventions so that we're consistent across different subjects. So the easiest way to do it is to go into your course, find the spot where you want to put the assignment. So let's assume I want to put it in my narrative folder. I go to Add Materials and Add Assignment. Hopefully that's very familiar to you. Once that loads up, we create the assignment as normal. Give it a nice clear name. Bear in mind that parents might be seeing this out of context rather than within the course potentially. So give it a clear name. So in this case I might call it narrative sack, or just something generic but clear like that. You can put in description as normal. You can add files if you've got an assessment sheet or something that you've given the kids. You can attach that. That's all as normal. Give it a due date, again as normal. The new things are down here. We've got category and scale or rubric. So first of all we want to choose the category. By default mine's set to online lessons. I've also got classwork. But this is neither of those. This is a new category. So I'll go create new category and I'm going to call it graded assessment. So please use that terminology, graded assessment. Next time when I create something in this course, I'll have graded assessment on the list so I can select it there, but the first time you need to type it in. Next we want to create a scale or rubric. So clicking here, I've already got my one for online lessons, but I need to create a new rubric. If you see the grid icon here, that's the rubric icon. So I'm going to create a new one, and it will bring up this screen in the top right. I give the rubric a title. So in this case it'll be the narrative sack. You may wish to create a rubric that's generic. For example, for every discussion forum you host, you're going to have one rubric that you use over and over, so you just name it there and you'll be able to choose that from this list next time. Okay, and here we have the actual rubric part. The first thing I always do is see that it's got 4 levels. I always create 2 more, so it depends on exactly what you want to do, but for me I always create a 5th level. I delete all of these descriptors because I don't like those generic descriptors. I should have said to create a new level you just press the little plus in the appropriate spot. So the second level I create is down the bottom. I add a level for 0, and for that one I write not demonstrated. Because if a student has submitted a piece of work but hasn't demonstrated one criteria at all, then I want to mark them as 0. But then I've got my 5 levels for well below, below, at the expected standard, above, or well above. You can tweak that to suit your needs. On the left here we can add a title and a description, and down here we can add more specific descriptions. So having set up one sort of criteria the default way, the way I want it, I can press the plus button, plus criteria, and now I've got 4, 5, 6, however many you need. And then you can start giving them specific titles. So I might say essay structure, use of evidence, whatever the criteria you're marking against are. And if you wish, you can provide more detail. Students need to use the introduction. You know, I can write whatever I want. I can put in an overall description for that criteria. And then I can put in my levels. So for at the expected standard, you know, whatever I want to say is expected includes all 3 main sections of an essay, and I can put in my full description. I won't go into that sort of detail here, but hopefully you've seen how to set up the sort of technically set up a rubric using Schoology. I think I can create that. No, it wants a title. Just put in random letters, create, and that's it. I've got narrative sack, I've got my description, it's a graded assessment, I've created a rubric, and then I hit create. Wait a minute and then it will show up. I'll have to make sure I delete this straight away, because otherwise my students will be very confused. There's my SAC. I can drag it around if I wanted it in a different location. Opening it up, students will see the description, any attachments, and they will see this rubric as well. As students submit on the right here, I can open up their submissions and I can mark them using the rubric. Alternatively, if students are submitting offline, you can actually click Edit Grades up here. I've got my students listed. I can give them an overall comment. Obviously, I do a much better comment than that. I don't have to show this feedback until I've marked everyone, so I'll leave that ticked off because I don't want my poor student to see that description. And by clicking here, I can open up the rubric as well. It's a bit unclear because it's only half filled in, but I can really quickly tick the boxes to indicate how the student has performed. If you wish, you can also add a comment for specific criteria. So here she's performed below the expected standard apparently, so I might want to click there and explain why. And I can save that at the end. I won't do that because I don't want to accidentally have my student see this and get confused about what I'm doing, so I just hit save at the end. At another time I'll show you what it looks like to students and parents, but essentially they will see this rubric with all the ticks indicating their performance and any comments you've put there, as well as this overall comment. So it's a really it's quite an easy way to set up a rubric. It's a really effective way of giving feedback to students and parents. I hope you found that helpful. Thank you.